Alright guys, we're going to start a new game of Techtonica. The graphics in this game are just absolutely gorgeous. You can even just see on the loading screen here the depth of colors, the richness of it. I absolutely love this game. They just released a new base building update, and I played an old save, and enough things have changed that I figure it's time to get started with a new save. Alright, press any key to continue.
Structural integrity failing.
Right.
Emergency resuscitation of all personnel initiated.
So we spawn
Exit
here.
this facility and report to Production Terminal Lima.
I'll try not to talk over the system messages. So we press E to inspect and get everything from these crates. We can press space to gather all of that into our inventory here. This is a mining pickaxe. We're going to need that. And then the game's going to tell us that we want to press left click in order to dig. So we'll just hold down on left click and we can dig through all the dirt here. And this is going to get us going in the game. You can also see at the top, it'll tell us every time we hit the dirt how much we're gaining. On the left we picked up, some 20 dirt, and on the right it's showing us how much we have in our inventory. We're also getting some limestone. I'm a little bit OCD, so sometimes I like to dig out everything even if I don't need to. But that should be enough. Alright.
Hello? Can you hear me? Your suit can't transmit a voice or ID signal, but my sensors are indicating you're out there. First things first, check in at that production terminal. I need a second set of eyes on how badly damaged it is.
So we're just gathering some of these plants here. So we see we're getting plant matter, some kindlevine seeds. I've played this game before, obviously, so I know we're going to need quite a lot of this stuff, so I'm just going to gather everything. With one of the latest updates, you can actually just hold E, and then it'll gather all these for you. Alright, so let's go over to the production terminal. We can also get rid of some of these rocks. They're not really a problem, but they might get in the way when you're building belts later. Alright, so we'll go visit the production terminal. Alright, so it says we need some iron ore and some copper ore.
This terminal is cooked. Mining drills were the only buildable tech I could recover. Try crafting a few with materials from some of the chests around here.
So we've got some materials here. Now we'll press tab to get into the crafting menu, and then you can see here we can just queue up a couple drills. So we'll get a couple of these drills going. You can see in the bottom right here is where it shows us our progress. And then on the left, or the bottom here, when we craft something, it automatically puts it onto our hotbar, and then we can just scroll in between those, and you can kind of see the highlight of where it wants us to place something. And then as we get closer, it sometimes will smart snap to the direction we want, but you can also press R like this to rotate. So I'm going to build something all the way over here, because I know that'll give us some space later.
Must be built at an ore vein and fueled with plant matter.
So now if I hit shift, that's going to transfer the whole stack of this plant matter I've been gathering into the mining drill, and then we can start to see it's producing some iron. And then while that's going, I'm going to tap shift once, and we'll start moving a little bit faster. It's kind of the sprint key, and we're going to come over here and we'll get some copper. And then same thing here, I'm going to put this mining machine all the way in the end because I kind of know where the space I'm going to need. And once again, we'll fill that up with some plant matter. And then now while that's getting some copper, I'm going to continue gathering all these plants. Now right now, none of these plants respawn, but that's okay. We don't really need them to respawn. But I'm going to keep gathering some of this while we're waiting on more of that iron to mine. And let's go back and check on the progress. Again, E is always the button we press to interact. So we've got some 21 iron ore. We'll grab that. Come back over and get some copper ore. Again, early game, you always just want to be gathering all the plant matter you can, because it'll be a little bit before we can produce anything else to replace that as the fuel. I don't think I actually grabbed that one. Well, maybe I did. Alright, so we've got, I'll wait till I have 21, just the same number as before, and I'll gather all that. So now we'll go back, we'll put this in the production terminal. Again, we'll press E, we can shift click, and hit repair. Alright, so we already see the next thing it's going to ask for is iron ingots and copper ingots. We'll
Good
get out of
work getting
menu.
that ore plugged into the terminal, Groundbreaker. If you weren't on my crew, you should have been. For the next phase of repairs, you're gonna need a scanner. The tech for it unlocked automatically when you fixed this thing, so open up your crafting menu and build one.
So again, tab gets us into our crafting menu. We can kind of see all the stuff again we've already built here or gathered on the left. And then we'll go all the way to the right to equipment, and you can see that little plus thing showed us this is a new item. And this tells us we have the materials to build 8 of these scanners, but we're just going to build 1. That's all we need. And you see again, it automatically added it to the hotbar.
Scan machine fragments to restore tech tree access.
If you hit tab, you can actually rearrange your hotbar. I really like my scanner to be number 2. That's just what I've gotten used to. So this is also a little tech fragment. We can scan that.
Upgrade
And that
module
at the
scanned.
top there you can see gave
Additional
us
tech
suit
tiers
speed
or
2.
cores may be required. Open tech tree to review.
And then we can also scan this broken equipment. So that's a mining drill we can scan at the top. That gave us some iron ingots and some iron components. We'll scan that one. Again, some more iron ingots and components. And then these are what we call inserters. These are the long inserters. We'll learn about those later. We're just going to grab those. And then on the top left it says build and place 3 mining drills. So let's make another one of those. We'll get that out of the way. And on the bottom right again you can see it crafting for us. And then we'll have to go and add that back to our hotbar real quick. So I know the way the belting works right now, we're going to want 2 spaces. These little purple output things you see on the ground, that shows us where we can place our inserters, and we're always going to need 1 space beyond the inserter. So we'll get some more plant matter into this drill. And then here, this is a smelter, so we'll scan that smelter. And it tells us at the top we scanned 1 of 3 smelter fragments. We'll get the other 2 here real quick. And then this is going to unlock smelters for us. So then press T to open the tech tree. And right now, under Production Terminal Lima in the Synthesis tabs, we've got all sorts of tabs here. But the only thing we have is the Synthesis tab. We need the smelter. We need 5 of these research cores, but you see at the bottom we don't have any available.
Warning. Research cores required for activation of new technologies. Refer to tech tree for current core manifest.
We'll just empty out these, and then if we hit tab again, we can see we have enough materials to make some more research cores. So we'll just hit that 5 times. We'll get our research cores crafting, and then for now we'll just go ahead and place those new ones right next to the old ones. And once again, you see at the bottom, the first time you make something, it'll automatically add it down to your hotbar. We can place these; they kind of snap. There's that one, and then we'll have our last one there.
Research cores constructed. Smelter technology available for activation in tech tree.
Scanning these little light sticks just gets them out of the way, which is nice. So let's hit T again, and now we have 5 available cores, so we can hold to activate that. And then here we can kind of see the description: produces ingots and other metallic products from ore collected by mining drills. As this shows us, we'll get 1 copper ingot with an input of 2 copper ore, same thing for iron. And to make the smelter, we need 16 limestone and 8 copper
Technology
components.
activated. Proceed with construction of smelter.
So again, we hit tab into our construction menu, and we see we can make a couple smelters. So I'm just going to start with 4 here. And while that's going, let's make another drill as well. In fact, let's make all 3 of those drills. And we'll head over here. In fact, while this is crafting, let's gather a little plant matter. Again, you can never have too much plant matter here at the beginning. And by holding E, once you grab the first one and then hold E, and then it kind of locks on to gathering plant matter, and we can gather all these plants around here. And again, at the top we can kind of see how much we have in our inventory. I kind of want to have a couple stacks here because I'm going to fill up all of these
You've activated the
drills.
smelter tech, but you still need to build one and place it.
So that's Sparks. She's going to give us some hints along the way. Don't really need her input right now, but that's okay. If you're new to the game, she can be really helpful telling you what to do. But, alright, I think I've got a decent amount of plant matter here. So let's run back over here and let's get... Well, I guess now we're here. Let's get a smelter placed down. I'm going to place this... I kind of know how I'm going to build my belts, so I think I'm going to place my smelter right here.
Task
That's where I'm
inbound.
going to place this
Smelter.
first one. And then I
Supply
can take
with
some
ore
of
to
this
produce
ore out.
ingots.
Again,
Requires
shift
plant
clicking
matter
that,
for fuel.
and then I can shift click to put the ore in there, and we'll give that smelter some fuel. And then now we're going to head back over here, and let's get another drill going on copper. So we can scan this to get that out of the way. We'll scan this guy too, and then let's get this rock out of the way. So now we'll place another drill, and again I'm going to place, see the little purple outline on the ground there, I'm going to give it an extra space past that one. That's going to give us enough space later for our inserters, and then we can build, or give this some more fuel. And once we give it fuel, we can see the arms extend there, and it's gathering resources for us. Now I've got enough to have 3 drills on each, so I'm actually just going to get one more going here, and we'll give that one some fuel. And then we're almost out of fuel. We've only got less than half a stack left. So I'm going to gather a bit more, and then we'll get a smelter going on the copper. Now, it used to be, before one of the latest updates, you had to hit E every time you wanted to gather the plant matter, and that was a little bit of a hassle, so it's a really nice quality of life update they've given us here, where we can just hold down E and we don't have to keep smashing that button to gather all of our plant matter. We can gather all sorts of stuff here. We can also, I'll show you one thing, if we have our scanner out, we can scan these plants too, and it'll put some database entries to tell us more about them. So we'll scan this one. I think we can scan that. This is a big one. We can't actually gather this one, but we can still scan it. We can scan this little mushroom, or pelago shroom, I guess. I think we can scan this one. And I want to get at the top there. I'm going to go till I have about 1,500, so I'm going to try to fill up a couple more machines fully with this plant matter. There we go. That looks like that'll be enough. So let's come back here. Let's get a smelter out here for the copper as well. We'll get that oriented in the right direction. And again, I'm going to give that, without that much space, that's 4 tiles in between, because we need one space for our inserters later, and then I'm going to have a belt coming this way, and a belt that comes back that way. Alright, and let's give this some fuel. We'll give it the copper ore we have in our inventory, and let's gather that. We can gather that, and let's get that all in there. So now we're producing these copper ingots, and then let's head back to iron. We have one more drill, so we'll have we've got 3 drills for copper, we'll have 3 drills for iron, and we'll just place that right there, again giving it that extra space, and we'll give him some fuel. Now here's one thing we can do. So we see at the bottom left it tells us both the outputs and the fuel this needs. So we're producing 25 copper or iron ore per minute, and we're consuming 9 of that plant matter per minute. And then if we mouse over the smelter here, we see that we're consuming 30 ore per minute. So that means we need more than one of these drills to fill up a single smelter. So if we have 3 of these guys, we're producing 75, and then if we had 3 of these, we'd be consuming 90. Right now, some of the at the early stages, the totals really don't always add up all that well, but that's okay. So we'll get a second one down. It looks like we're going to need 2 more, so we'll have 3 and 3 on each side. And the bottom right, again, you see those other ones are producing. And I will get our other smelters down here. And while we're here, let's gather these copper ingots out of there. So that's just enough to upgrade the terminal. And you see the little red X here just says, hey, this doesn't have anything. It doesn't have any ore or fuel. That's okay, we can ignore that for now. We got lots of iron ingots, so we'll gather all those. Again, I was just hitting space there. By hitting space, it gathers everything in the output of the machine. We'll come back, press E on our terminal, and then I'll shift click on my iron and my copper and hit upgrade terminal.
Terminal upgraded. New technology and crafting schematics available.
And I'm sure Sparks might say something to us here, or maybe not. Alright, so the top left we see, to upgrade this, we can either look at the mission on the top left or just hit E here. We need, again, more iron ingots, more copper ingots, we need some conveyor belts, some inserters, and some containers. And for all that, we need to start unlocking stuff. Although I think we get what we need on the left here just by upgrading the production terminal. We get to build these conveyor belts, and I think that's everything we need. If we hit tab and we go to logistics, we can see we can now build some inserters and containers. So I'm going to go ahead and make a bunch of these. We're going to need lots of that, and this requires mechanical components. And actually at the bottom it tells us the raw materials. We need lots of copper and lots of iron. We also are going to need quite a few of these, and we'll want a couple of these. Alright, so these are just the storage containers. I'm going to gather some more of this iron, and in fact I'm going to give us another smelter working. Let's gather some of this ore, and we'll put that ore in here. Now that's working. And again, we're already low on some of the plant matter, so let's just gather some more of that. Like I said at the beginning, you can never have enough plant matter early on in the game. You're always going to need more. These smelters and drillers really dig through or chew through the plant matter really quickly, so we're definitely going to want to always be gathering this plant matter as fast as we can. And again, I'm just kind of paying attention to the top of the screen there, where it tells me I've got 514, so that's one stack. We'll get a little bit more. Try to go into the areas that's as dense with plants as you can, so you pick up as much plant matter as fast as you can. Once I get to about 2 stacks here, that'll probably be enough for now. I want to get another smelter over on the copper side going. Here's some more. Missed a mushroom there. Let's see. Here's some more mushrooms. These will be enough to get us to over 500 or over 1,000. There we go. Alright. So let's go to the other side. Let's get another smelter down. Looks like I need to build it. Oh no, I already built the smelter. I can hit cancel crafting so I don't waste those resources. I've got the smelter here. I just need to give it some fuel. And let's gather some of the ore here. And let's get that ore into there. Alright, and let's get some more of those copper ingots. Alright, so now let's, before we actually fill this production quota at the terminal, let's actually get some things automated here. So I'm going to build some more inserters here, and you can see when I hit click to make an inserter, if I don't have the components I need, it'll actually build the subcomponents, and then it'll go ahead and automatically build the thing I need there. That's really, really nice. So I'm going to show you this belt layout I have here. So I selected the belts on I'm just using the scroll wheel here. So I'm actually going to, let's reorient a lot of these. I like to have my belts on 5 and my inserters on 4. Get those up there. I don't have those there. That works. Alright. Just going to build my belts. Right now it's just a blue kind of hologram showing where it's going to go. So I'm just going to click there, and then I can drag along. The way I can move these is if I hit R, it's going to change the direction. So hitting R allows me to go either way. If I decide I don't want to change directions there, I can hit Q, and that allows me to keep dragging it. So I'm going to drag this belt all the way out past here, and then I'm going to come out, hit R, and then I'm going to hit R again, and I'm going to bring that belt all the way back. Now if I stand on top of it, it doesn't like that. The whole thing's going to turn red, so I just have to move off to the side.
Task inbound.
And
Conveyor
now
belt.
I have some conveyor belts going.
Use conveyor belts to build networks between machines.
And then I'm gonna
Inserters
build
are
more
required to
inserters
transfer
as
items
well.
to and from conveyor belts.
Alright, so now I'm going to take some inserters, and you see the arrows are pointing this way onto the belt. And this machine has 2 that I'm going to use as outputs. They can both be used as inputs and outputs, so the miner has 3 total. I'm going to use these 2 as outputs. Now, these normal inserters, if we go to the bottom left, we can see they have a max speed of 20 items per minute, and we're producing 25. So one of them is not enough, so I have 2 on each one of these. So I'm just going to put some more inserters here, and here, and here, and here. And then I'm going to put inserters on the input, or I'm going to make these inputs to the smelter. And they consume 30, so again I need 2. And then we'll do that, and that, and that, and that. And now of course this guy doesn't have fuel, so we'll give him some fuel. Now right now I don't have fuel automated, but I'll show you in a little bit how I'm going to do that. But first, let's get some output going. So now I'm going to do another belt here, and this one is going to come along this way. And right now you can see I only have 2 inserters left, because if I look, I can't build any more. I'm out of mechanical components. We can see I have plenty of copper, but I don't have enough iron bars. So I'll just gather more of those iron bars, and then I'm just going to spam click. Actually, if I hit shift click, it'll make everything possible. Alright, so let's get some inserters going on the output side here, and we'll just have to wait for those to be created. So now we can see we're filling up this belt, and right now they're just going into nowhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to build a crate here, and then I will hit 5, Again, R rotates my belts. I'm just going to bring that, and I'm going to wrap that around. And let's have these inserters pick up that iron, and we will put it into our container. So now, we're not fully automated yet because we technically still have to manually supply the fuel, but now we are producing iron ingots, and we're getting those automatically placed into my container here. And one thing to note, so it takes, on the bottom left here, see, we take two iron ore to make one iron ingot. So that's just worth noting. And it's also worth noting this is consuming fuel at a rate of 12 per minute. But total we're producing 15 per minute. So actually I only need one inserter on the output of each of these, because these inserters move items at a rate of 20 per minute, and we're only producing at a rate of 15 per minute. So they're going to be able to handle everything there. And I have 3 pushing materials out, which means I really only need 3 pushing materials in. So to get rid of those, I hit the F key to enter erase mode, and if I mouse over stuff, I can kind of see that it's going to get erased. So I have 3 putting iron ingots into this chest, and I have 3 putting them on the belt, and I believe we have all of our inserters for these miners. So now we need a lot more conveyor belts. So let's now go in here, hit space, gather all that, and we need a little bit more fuel actually. If I want to put enough fuel in all the smelters, I'm going to have to gather some fuel. Maybe at the beginning of the game this is tedious, but as we get further along, we're going to have ways to automate all of this, and so we're not going to have to run around grabbing this plant matter forever. We are actually going to be able to automate it with a different kind of fuel, or we can just use plant matter the whole game. We'll also be able to produce plant matter eventually. But for now, I'm just going to quickly go through this. Maybe in post-processing I can edit the video and zoom through this stage. But we do need a lot of plant matter early on in the game. You'll have to just get used to gathering all of it. It's really not too bad though. Alright, so that's 1,000. That should be plenty. So we're going to head back and let's get things going while we're moving. So we can always produce stuff while we're moving. Let's get some more of those conveyor belts getting built. 23 is probably not going to be enough. So we just need some more copper. Now, we are out of copper ore here because we don't have our belts set up, so let's just get some more copper ore in here manually. Let's gather all that. Let's get it in here. We'll give it some fuel. Alright, so now we at least have some stuff going. Let's get some more belts, and let's get some more inserters. Alright, so we have some belts, so we're going to do the same thing here. It's going to be a little bit different just because I don't quite have the same setup here. We couldn't get all 3 copper drills in a row, but that's okay. Let's drag these along. I'm going to come here, and we got to get in front of that one, so we're going to have to go one more, and then we'll come this way, and then we can come back along here. Alright, so now we have our belts. I actually like to work in reverse. I'm going to put my... usually I don't put fuel in my drills until I'm ready to do everything when I'm building a nice new build, but that's okay. And then these we're going to... oops, wrong way. So again, if I put something the wrong way, I can actually either hit F to remake it, or I can just hit R. And R, while an inserter is placed, will change the orientation. And our last 2. So again, now we are automatically putting all of this copper ore onto the belt, and these inserters are automatically grabbing it. Now, one thing to note, and this is something you'll have to get used to, you see these inserters, they're just kind of holding onto the copper ore, they're not doing anything. That's because I've placed enough copper ore in here that the inserters don't want to overfill. So we see the bottom left, the smelters take 2 copper ore to make 1 copper ingot. They're not going to put more than twice the materials inside it. So twice that is 4, so it's not going to ever try to put more than 4 copper ore in a machine at a time. So until we burn through all the copper ore we have in here, these are just kind of hang tight. So they're going to hang tight and do nothing there. That's okay. Let's get some more belts going. Also, we need more inserters. We're out of inserters. So let's go, let's build 6 more of those. And then let's get a belt going here. I'm actually going to bring... I think I'm going to bring my copper ore the other direction. I'm going to bring my copper ingots this way. And then we will have a belt coming out that way. And let's do that. And we'll get get a storage container. So if I rotate my scroll wheel, we're going to go all the way through hotbar 1, and then it'll keep going through 2. Or if I hit Control 2, it's going to swap my hotbar, and then I can use 1, 2, and 3 to go between those. But you know, however you want to do your hotbars. And let's get, remember, also when you place something, you always need to leave that space where that little purple outline is. You got to leave that space for the inserter. So I'm going to put that
great
there.
little factory breaker.
And let's
If you
get
took
some
it all
inserters
apart,
on the
you'd have
output.
most of what you need to
and
deposit
the
into the
input,
production
we'll get
terminal for the
those.
objective.
Now, obviously, if I put
Or
this
you
inserter
could keep
here,
your factory
okay,
and build a
Sparks,
whole new set
just
of
talk
belts,
over here.
inserters,
That's fine.
containers, just for dumping into the PT. That's what I would do.
All right, so now that Sparks is done talking, this inserter going into the chest, obviously he's not going to be able to pick up anything from this one. That's okay, though, because we do still have some inserters on the belt past that location. Also, I'm going to get rid of that extra belt. And now let's put some inserters on the output side. Also, I really don't like how I place this, and you'll see why in a second. So I'm just going to do that, and I'm going to... Let's put our copper, our extra copper, we'll put that down here. We don't have quite enough belts, so we'll make some more belts. So again, we didn't have enough mechanical components. It's going to make those for us first, and then we'll do that. So now let's replace this here, give it an extra space. All right, and so let's do 1, 2, 3, and then let's get our inserters on the output side. So now we're going to get rid of all the copper ingots there. And so now we are, again, these have to burn through all this. We're getting there. We're down to 30. So these are going to be placing all of these copper ingots, and these are now going to come into the storage container. Let's pick up some of those. And now, now that I have this set up, I'm starting to get some more raw materials. Let's get all those. We need lots of belts. I'm just going to shift-click on the belts. We always need a lot of belts. So we're going to go creating, and while we're making those belts, let's just go choose that time to pick up some more plant matter. You know, there's lots of, we're kind of just waiting on raw materials right now. We need a lot more copper ingots. We need a lot more plant matter. If we come into some of these caves here, the vines that hang from the ceiling have a lot of plant matter. We actually kind of have to get a little bit further. There's some green vines just past there. Those are really good for plant matter. But we can just gather what we've got here. We're going to need just so much plant matter. I can't even describe how much plant matter we're going to need. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot in here. That's a shame. I thought there would be more in here. Oh, we got one mushroom. Let's just gather some of this, and by the time we get back to the base, there's going to be all sorts of copper ingots that we can use. And we see we're just done making those belts, so let's quickly get back. We don't have enough raw materials right now to craft anything else. We need, what is we have plenty of iron, but we don't have much copper. So we're going to need to pick up some more copper so we can keep crafting stuff by hand. Again, eventually everything's going to be automated. We'll be automatically turning this copper into belts and stuff. In fact, you know, we have some extra in here. I'll hit space, space, space. Now we have all sorts of copper. So let's do 10 more of those, a little bit more belts. So what I'm going to do next is I'll show you on the iron while we're making all these inserters. I'm going to make my kind of feed system for fuel. So we're just going to place these light sticks are usually in the way. They're annoying. I'm going to control-click, puts all the plant matter from my inventory into the storage. And then I'm going to actually build a system to automatically distribute my fuel. So we're going to use the last port on the side here for fuel. So I'm going to start a conveyor belt there and click, and then I drag it back. And then it runs into something and it says, oh, I can just build over that. So we can actually build conveyor belts like this, and it'll automatically place them over obstacles, where you just have one horizontal space to go up a level. And then once we're above here, I'm going to hit R again, and then I'm going to drag it back this way, and then we're going to have it come over here, and then back here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 inserters on the output side here. Or when I say output side, it's not really an output side, I'm just putting them in the output configuration. And these are going to start putting plant matter onto this belt. And then I'm going to come along and put inserters facing in and in. And then this last one here, obviously we need to get a belt there. So let's get to our belts. Now I'm going to rotate this till we're coming down. And then it's going to automatically drop down to the lower level. And then this is like a little splitter. So every other plant matter is going to go down this little side chute. And then eventually what's going to happen actually is these are going to, we have enough fuel in here, it's going to back up. And so eventually this whole belt is going to kind of become saturated with plant matter. And so now all of these are being automatically fed with fuel. So I no longer have to come to these machines individually and put plant matter in them. Now I just have to put plant matter inside my storage. Now, that's not all. We also need plant matter for the smelters. But to do that, you can see if I just put one of these inserters here, it's going to try to grab the iron off the line, and that's not what we want. So instead, if we hit the tech tree and we go to logistics, we have this new tech called long inserter, but we need cores for that. So let's go ahead and build 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to build 4 more cores, and that's going to take a little bit of time. So while we're making all those cores, I'm just going to go around and gather some more plant matter. Again, we cannot have enough plant matter. Just going to jump here to get to some of the mushrooms that are a little higher up. We can barely reach some of these. Get there, get there. All right. And the reason I'm doing this now is, again, we can't have enough plant matter, and I want to get another distribution system going for my copper side. I want to have as much automated as I can here in the early game. Because we don't want to have to run to all those machines individually. That's going to become really tedious. So instead, if I make it so I just have to fill up that one container with my plant matter, that's going to make things a whole lot easier for us. And eventually, when we're making other kinds of fuel, we'll be able to just tap into that distribution system and replace it with some of our other kinds of fuel. So I'm just going to go here for a little bit and keep gathering some of these mushrooms. We've already almost tapped out most of the plant matter that we can gather here without being able to get a lot higher. Luckily, we're about to get access to a whole new portion of the map here in a couple minutes when we complete our next objective. Alright, so this is about, again, we've got about 1,000 plant matter. That's probably going to be enough for now. I'm just going to keep gathering a little bit on my way back, but we've really grabbed most of the easily accessible plants now. So let's, we need a couple more inserters. And we need probably some more belts. And let's build another distribution system. So we kind of have the idea of what we need to do here, right? We've got to build something, and we're just going to go right on top of this belt. Going on top doesn't hurt us at all. And then we're going to come out this way. And also, if you notice, this is facing the wrong way. So luckily I noticed that. We need to be going this direction. So let's do that. This one we're going to have to be a little creative with, because we, see, if we come here and we go this way, we can't pull stuff off that diagonal downwards belt. So we're going to have to be a little creative with how we do that. That's okay. For now, let's just bring this, if we do this, and we come like this, oh, this is going to work perfect. Alright, so here is where we're going to have our plant matter distribution. We'll do something like that, and let's get some more. Oh, our inserters are getting made. You can tell I'm from the Midwest, I say "ope" a lot. Let's have 2 guys outputting plant matter here. Alright, so now we're putting our plant matter out, and we're going to have a way to get plant matter to these smelters, but let's finish this. So let's, 5 again gets us to this menu. We can just, we'll be a little creative here. We're going to come out, come to the right, come like this, and so if I go like this, this is actually going to connect those two. I don't want that. So instead, I'm going to hit 5, and I'm going to have it facing that direction, and it's just going to change it so those two don't automatically connect. And then I can build the inserter on the input side, and then here we can just split this off. I believe it doesn't, oh no, okay. Sometimes it's weird with where it will let us place a splitter. Sometimes we can't place a splitter next to a turn, but looks like it's going to let us. And so now we have, again, an automated plant matter distribution system on the copper side. We've got lots of copper ingots. And now let's actually go in. We need some more conveyor belts. We'll build some more of those. Let's build some more of these, and let's see what we need here. So we have the iron ingots, the copper ingots, we have the inserters. We're almost there with the belts. We're going to get a couple more belts here. We have the belts, and now we're just waiting on 2 more containers. Also, we got those purple research cores crafted, so let's place those down. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now if we go again, hit T to enter the tech tree, we can hold to activate long inserters. These are really, really useful. And now, let's see. So we need, to make a long inserter, we need 2 regular inserters and 3 mechanical components. And what I can tell you already is we don't have enough iron. So this says we can only make 1, and then we're out of mechanical components. If we go over here to intermediates, here's all the different intermediates we can make. We don't have enough iron to make any more mechanical components. So let's grab some of the iron we have here. We'll just space click that. And now let's make, let's see, I made 1. Let's make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more of those. I'm going to want 6. Alright, so I'm going to move this one up here. I don't like having my long inserters kind of on my first hotbar. So now let's see, how are we going to go about automating plant matter distribution here? So I really don't like how I did this, so we're going to delete this. And let's do that, and then we're going to bring this along that way. So now it's going to make another splitter. And we're just going to bring this belt, and actually we're about to run out of belts, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just make a handful of those. So we'll connect this, and we're going to bring this belt all the way up here, and then let's go back to our long inserters. Now if I place my long inserter like this, facing into the machine, it can grab stuff from 2 spaces away. So now that's able to grab that plant matter, and if we put one of those long inserters on each of my furnaces or my smelters, now we have fuel distribution, and now this guy doesn't have fuel, but that's okay. We'll just do that. So now every 3, one is going to go this way, one is going to go that way, and one's going to go that way. And we can start to see again, our belt is being saturated. They still have enough residual plant matter from the amount I placed in there before. We can also see, because I just put some excess ore in these before, the ore is kind of stacking up here. Because again, we have 3 miners producing 75 per second total, and our smelters are in theory consuming 90. So eventually this backup is going to go away. And if we hit E again, we can see it's going to stack them up to 4, and the inserters aren't going to do any more. So they're not going to put any extra in there. They're only going to let you do twice the recipe. But now, so again, we have fuel automated completely. Let's go back over to the other side. Actually, let's, what do we need here? We needed some containers. We have those containers. I'm not going to hit upgrade quite yet because I want to get the last of my plant matter distribution. Again, we use our long inserters, and we are now automatically fueling everything. Let's just pick up some of that copper ore, and now let's go ahead and upgrade terminal.
Beacons are back online. Inspect the radio console right next to the screen. It'll start beeping and blinking in 3, 2, 1.
So this is our radio console. We'll hit E to
Signal
interact.
triangulated. New location added to HUD. Life sign.
Access to all local facilities should be restored, including the one I've been stuck in this entire time. I've set an unlock code to the door. I've got some tech you're gonna like, and I know you wouldn't dream of leaving without me anyways.
Alright, so we're going to follow this beacon around the river here, and we're going to go into this facility, and let's see.
Sending that signal
It
was more
unlocked.
complicated than you think.
Now, before we explore in
why,
here too
but
much,
These computers feel like second
we'll
nature
listen to
now.
Sparks.
Sort of the opposite of what I remember it being like. I'd be the one to get you out of a situation like this, instead of the other way around. But I'm not giving up.
Sparks
it's still
loves
me
to
here.
talk, but the narrative is not too bad.
You'll see.
Alright, so she's done. So now if we hit M, we go to the map. And it's kind of like an echolocation map, they call it. I guess they call it echo sketch. We can see these little green things here. So these green things are items that have been placed in the world. If we zoom out, we can actually go back. We can see, alright, here's our smelters, or our miners and our smelters. We haven't gone in here, we haven't placed anything yet, so these little green things are actually things we can interact with. In this case, they're going to be little chests we can open, so it's up to us to find those. And again, I'm moving slowly because the game automatically turns off. Actually, I'll show you. Let's go back out. If we look at the top of the screen here, see how it says Safe Sprint Disabled? So if I hit Shift, I'm walking faster, and then as I go in here, it's going to disable Safe Sprint Initiated, so it's not going to let me sprint quite as fast. But let's go around. We're going to explore. Let's see. We are eventually going to try to go through there, but instead we're going to turn right. And I just happen to know that if we do a little bit of parkour up here, if we follow this along, there's a chest up here. Whenever you explore some of these facilities, always look and find these chests. This one has quite a bit of good stuff. We have some fast inserters, some cooling systems, some advanced circuits. We're not going to need those advanced circuits for a while. If we hit M again, alright, so we just found this chest that's up here. This shows us the direction we're facing, so we're facing towards that one. There looks to be like there's 3 more chests all on the bottom of this room, so let's just jump down and see if we can't find these. Alright, I happen to know, it's been a little bit, but I bet if we go all the way down here, yep, so here's one of them. This has some iron frames. If we go underneath here, just kind of travel along here, follow the little maze, and here's another one. This has more fast inserters, a crank generator, some more advanced circuits, and there should be one more somewhere around here. I think if we jump up, sometimes you have to, there we go, you have to play a little game with the jumping. Even more advanced circuits, some calcite beams, some electrical components.
These construction pieces, they're made from a special kind of building material. I can't remember where they came from, but I feel like we'll find more eventually.
So what she's talking about there is these calcite beams, and that's the new addition, the base building they just released a couple days ago. Alright, so we're going to jump back up here. Again, sometimes you have to play a little bit of parkour to get up. Alright, we're back on the walkway, and this is the way we came, so we're going to go this way. And now we're actually going to follow the narrative along. Oh, it wanted us to go to the right, whatever. We could have just jumped down, but we'll follow the path. And we are moving along. What do we have here?
Casualties detected.
That is Sparks. And now she's a cube. And hit E to pick that up.
What? You've never seen someone stuck inside an alien cube next to their own dead body before? Whatever I was trying to do here, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say it didn't work out.
Sometimes you can scan stuff in these
Hopefully, it was
facilities.
worth
I
a
don't remember
shot.
what all we can scan here.
Let's go.
So we picked up a total of 18 fast inserters, a bunch of advanced circuits. Those are going to be useful later. Of course, we have to move real slow in here. So we're going to go all the way to the exit, and we have our scanner out because we're about to scan a new area. I wish they would allow us to sprint in these facilities, but part of the narrative talks about that later. Come on. There we
Stop.
Go.
Scan the fragment in that cage by the stairs before we go. We'll need that tech to get out of the sector.
So first we're going to scan... Oh, we're going to scan this. Let's see what this gives us. That gives us Conveyor Belt Mark II. That's going to be useful. Let's check this. Just a bunch of stuff. This guy. That's the mole. We are going to need this, and that's everything from this little facility, so now we can exit. And we see on the top left, to activate the mole on the tech tree, let's hit T. The mole is here in the terraforming, but we need 3 research cores. However, that chest we just looked at had 6.
Local signal
so
deciphered.
we're going to go back and place
Sector
those.
headquarters. Report to production terminal radio for triangulation.
And again, now I can move a lot
Sounds like the
faster once
terminal
I'm
is
out
fully
here.
rebooted. Check the radio console again and see if the beacon it adds to your HUD gives us a clear path home.
Alright, so let's get some of these placed. We might as well just place them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Also, I know that if we go back here, we have another tech tree, or a fragment, Tool Belt 2. I thought there was something back here. Maybe not. Alright, and we can hear that little beeping. That is the radio terminal. Before we do that, actually, you know what? We're going to hit it.
Signal triangulated.
It's going to put us a new,
New
location
location added
on
to
our
HUD.
minimap.
Production terminal Victor.
And that is the next
Breaker,
production terminal
this
we're
is
going
the
to go
time to activate the mole in your tech tree and build one. We won't be able to cut through to Sector Victor without it.
Alright, so we have activated the mole.
Task
And
inbound.
then we'll hit
Mole.
tab, go to equipment,
Manipulates
and we'll
terrain
make
for traversal
another
and
mole.
composition of industrial construction sites.
Alright, so now we have our mole. I don't like that. I like, we're never going to use our pickaxe again, so we're just going to get rid of that. I like my mole to be number 1. So now we can start to see this little phantom box. So with this phantom box, if we start to see kind of these X's where it's going to hollow out ground. So if I just click,
Bulletin. This mole is not authorized to destroy resources, critical
It's going
infrastructure,
to
or
clear out
protected
this area.
environmental areas.
and that tells us we are not authorized to get rid of critical infrastructure. But if we hit the echolocation map, we can see there's kind of a little path here. So before we go to Victor and follow the narrative, we're going to actually dig through here. So let's do that. A couple things. You see where it said heat 36 and now it's going down. We have to be careful using the mole. Eventually we're going to get something called coolant, which is going to help. But the mole overheats if we use it too much. So now we can jump in here, but first, if we hit M, on our mini-map we see there's a little crate hiding here. We're just going to try to clear out this area. And we can see we've got all sorts of stuff. We have some smelters, some belts, all sorts of useful stuff. This is a great chest, so if you play the game, you actually don't need the mole to get here. You can get here with your pickaxe. It's just a lot easier with the mole. And now, let's see, this is right where we spawned. So we came down this staircase, but this glass, we can't jump through this glass. So it just showed us this little facility. There's some stuff here we can scan. So if an automatically placed item looks kind of like this, we can't scan it. But if it looks dilapidated and broken down, we can actually scan that and we get some parts out of it. That one we can scan. I don't think we can scan these. None of these are scannable, but this is our next fuel source. This is biobricks. And biobricks are in here. We can get a handful of those, another handful, and another handful. We can't actually delete any of this stuff, but if we hit E, we can gather all this stuff that's on the ground. We can gather the ones that are in the inserters here. We're just going to gather all these biobricks because we're going to want them. Sometimes the game does not let you gather stuff the way you might think. There we go. And so we're going to gather all these. Eventually we'll have a way to gather materials faster. But right now we just kind of have to go along the belt here and spam click. And we'll gather all of this. So now we have over 500 biobricks. These are a really dense fuel source. We're still gonna want more plant matter, so I'm just gonna gather a lot of the easy to reach plant matter here. I promise you, if you haven't played the game yet and you pick it up, you think, "Oh, Rob, you're crazy. Why are you gathering all this plant matter?" We are going to want it. I don't think there's anything in any of these other chests. No, there is not. Alright, so we have really everything we can get out of this room. Let's get back out of here. This is just, again, this is not necessary, but it's a lot of materials that are really useful. Alright, so what we can do here, on our iron side, let's just put, we'll put all that plant matter in here, and then on the copper side, we're actually going to give the copper side these biobricks. So I'm going to hit Control, click to get all the plant matter out, Control, click to put these biobricks in. The biobricks last a lot longer, so you see, let's take these out. If I hit E to go to my inventory, or sorry, if I hit Tab to go to my inventory, this says fuel power 40, and we can upgrade that, where these have a fuel power of 10. So biobricks are 4 times as good as plant matter, so this is basically worth 4 stacks of that plant matter. So we're going to get all that in there, and let's go back real quick, and let's put all of our plant matter in here. Oops, alright. So now, this should run for quite some time. We've got lots of iron. We're going to want to pick up all of our iron and copper that we have. And let's just make sure nothing, we're looks like we're a little backed up. I'm surprised. It's because I had some residual copper. Eventually this this line is going to clear through and there's not going to be any excess. Because we are consuming the ore faster than we're making it. Yeah, if we go back here, you see, we really don't have any excess here anymore. Eventually, all that excess in the copper, that's just because I manually placed some of the copper inside those smelters. Let's grab that. And before we go on, and I know you might, if you've played the game before, you're saying, oh, why are you waiting so long? We're going to place down all these research cores that we have. I'm going to jump up, and we're going to do another layer up here, actually. Eventually, there's also going to be a way to automate the placement of these research cores. Let's get all those down. Now, it's not going to let us place a research core without one below. So we do have to place... Sometimes you got to jump to get... There we go. Got it. And we still have two more. We'll do those two. And in fact, now that we have the mole, we can clear out some space. So I'm just going to open this up a little bit. The less that you clear out, the less the heat goes up. So we didn't clear out a full chunk's worth of blocks there. But you can, again, with the X's, you can kind of see where it's going to clear out. And that gave me some limestone. So every time we clear out the ground here... Also, this is now a faster way to gather plant matter. If I click on the ground here, it's not going to do a whole lot. It's clearing out stuff on the side here. But if I just move along the ground here, we are picking up all sorts of plant matter. So we're actually automatically clearing out that plant matter, or it's clearing out those plants. So sometimes using your mole on flat ground can be a quick way to gather some plant matter. Alright, so now we have a lot more cores available. Let's just see if we have anything else we can unlock. And we do. We have this decomposition. So what does this say? Also, this is a little bit of a bug in the latest update. If you hold over one of these and then move your mouse, this little hold activate doesn't go away, which is a little bit tedious, but that's okay. So we have some new techs here we can unlock. In logistics, we've got everything so far. Transportation, we still have to scan this one. So if it says scan, 0 for 1 or 0 for 2, something like that, that means there's a piece of technology on the ground, whether it's one of those little, remember that green thing we scanned here, or an actual, a full-on machine that we need to scan. Anytime in our tech tree that we've got this, 0 for 1, that just means there's something in the world we have to scan. In energy, we can have crank generators. I'm not going to waste any research cores on that quite yet. In science, I am going to spend money on mass collect and mass deconstruct, and I'll show you what those do. So if I hit E, if we see here, it drags this sphere along, and if I let go, I'm holding E, by the way, so I'm going to hit Q to cancel. If I hit E and hold it and then drag it along, this says, hey, take resources from this big area. If I let go of E, then I guess I don't have to hold E. But if I now press E again, it just took all that plant matter. So I'm going to go back here, I'll just place that plant matter back. I'm going to keep a little bit of this plant matter in my inventory, we're going to need that. Alright, so let's go back to our tech tree real quick. So that's mass collect and mass deconstruct. It's the same thing for deconstructing. If I hold F, I don't want to actually... Yeah, here we go. If I hold F and then click, I can drag and kind of get rid of this big area. But with mass deconstruct 1, there's a limit to the size of the area I can get rid of. So if I don't want to actually delete those, I'm just going to press Q to get out. Alright, so last thing in the tech tree is construction and basic construction. We really want this one. So again, on the left it tells us this unlocks basic construction components. We get power floors and metal stairs. That is really useful. We are going to want that.
Task inbound. Power floor. Build to establish structural foundation and conduct electricity from crank generators.
Alright, so we don't need it quite yet, but look at this. We've got so much iron and so much copper. I'm going to go ahead and build, I don't know, a couple hundred of these. We're going to want those. I'll build a couple hundred of these. We're really going to want those later. And then while we're at it, you see I don't have a whole lot of inserters. I'm going to I'll just give myself 1, 2, 3, and even 20. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll get 12 of those going. We've got a decent number of belts. 1, 2, 3. The nice thing is while I'm doing other stuff like exploring, it's actually going to be crafting this stuff, see there on the bottom right, all along as I go. So it's nice to just queue stuff up for construction as you go. And now we're going to pause this episode here, and we will come back in the next episode. We're going to use our mole at the top left, use the mole to locate and inspect Production Terminal Victor. So that will be in the next episode.